Hello, everyone. I have great guests today. My God, these are competitors. Starting on the upper left, Stasha Rice. Where do you live now, Stasha?
Vallejo.
She lives in Vallejo. And then we got Ashanti on the left in the middle.
Hello.
We got Kathy Reyes, who just did her fitness thing.
By the way, I live in Vallejo too.
Oh, okay. You got a coach, Kathy. And then we got Alejandro Rey right there in the middle.
Good afternoon.
And then we got Ricardo, a guy who's been bodybuilding for over 20 years. All right, guys. Here's a question for you, for each one of you. We're going to start with the upper bottom. We're going to start with Ricardo. What are you doing now to maintain your shape, sir?
Oh man, I'm a new father, so I'm starting from scratch, man. I'm starting with a clean diet, double cardio, and light workouts, man. But I'm coming from about 2 years hiatus, man. I'm starting from scratch, which I haven't done since I've been probably 19. So everything's super new, especially I'm 45 now. I'm looking at a whole new ballpark. I'm having to change things up with food and mix things up with HIIT in between my workouts. So it's definitely probably the funnest time and most challenging and exciting for a while, man.
You got your whole gym there at your backyard, which is really cool, dude.
Yeah, definitely. That makes it a lot easier, man. My drive time is no time at all, man. So as soon as I'm feeling it, man, and the baby's good, I'm in there, and I got a treadmill, a sauna, I got my tanning bed, I got everything in there, man. I got Bodybuilding Central, so I'm feeling good, man.
Awesome. Kathy?
So I'm just trying to eat. I'm not following a strict meal plan, but I have to target about 160 grams of protein, which is hard because I don't eat any meat. And
yeah, you're a vegetarian.
I have about 140 in carbs and low fat. So being a vegetarian is definitely challenging. I'm doing home workouts, and I have a garage where I have my little gym too. I have a squat rack, I have a bicycle to do my cardio, I have kettlebells. So I have the necessary equipment. Even if I didn't have that, I think you can always do something. I'm not on the petite lean side, not right now, because I am supposed to prep for a show in December. So right now, I'm supposed to be a little bit more on the thick side, which is a little scary because I'm still small, you know. I'm really small. If anything, they want me to, I'm 5'1", and they want me to go up to like 130, and I'm 121 right now. On stage, I'm 107. So I'm very tiny on stage.
Oh, yeah.
And how tall are you?
5'1".
Yeah.
So no, I'm not taking any stuff.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about
no gear.
Hondo?
Yes.
What do you do to maintain your shape?
Well, I eat a lot. I consume anywhere between 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day. I'm not really into the I'm not tracking the macros so much. I'm just making sure I consume enough calories to sustain my energy throughout the day, considering the dancing and the heavy workouts.
Yeah.
And just the fact that I'm on my feet throughout the day constantly. I'm throwing up heavy weight right now. I weigh 230. At this, I guess you could say at the start, we can use quarantine as a reference.
Yeah.
At the start of quarantine, I was 218, and I was doing a lot of HIIT, like Ricardo had mentioned, doing a lot of HIIT. I like to do like a variation of the burpees and like the whole jailhouse workout kind of thing. But I've had, thankfully I've had access to gyms, garage gyms, and private gyms, so I've been able to sustain my workouts there, and I'm gonna try to get to 240, man. Just why the hell not? You know what I mean?
You were 240 back then, right?
I was 251.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I wasn't ripped or juicy. I was just a big dude, So I'm trying to be at like a Jack 240, without substances. I haven't taken anything yet.
You haven't taken anything yet? Yeah.
I'm getting to that age to where I'm curious and I'm starting to research, the whole TRT thing.
Here's what I can tell you guys before Ashanti and Stasha. I'm on TRT.
Oh.
When I was 45, my testosterone level was 300. You know what the normal range is, right, Ricardo? 800 is the normal range, guys.
Yeah, depends on your age, right?
So if your shit is 300, it's over. And so I had to be put on TRT. I think I started taking 100 twice a week, and now I'm taking 150 twice a week, among other stuff, but I can't tell you that. But anyway, Ashanti?
So right now, since the quarantine began, let's say at March, April, I've been mostly sticking to a natural diet, lots of fish protein, vegetables, fruits, hiking, stretching, and then meditation. I use a lot of mental spirituality to help maintain my figure. I'm very fortunate and blessed to have a natural body type for the fitness industry.
Right.
When I'm in competition mode, it's just that times 1,000. So I do double cardio plus weights plus stretching plus an outdoor activity. But right now, since it's been quarantine, it's mostly just been hiking and stretching and then the meditation work.
You sound like Stasha. Stasha, go ahead.
So I'm kind of there with Ashanti. I go more holistic, more natural. I eat when my body wants to eat. I tend to be more on a vegetarian type diet with some fish. Meat occasionally, but not really a thing that I ever crave. I don't have a gym at home, so outside the weather's beautiful. I want to be out there hiking, out there with nature, more of the yoga, more of the meditation. You have to be well balanced in this industry, or it just doesn't work so well. You can't get to the extremes.
Yeah. So here, next question is, if you were to train or coach a person that comes up to you, Ricardo, I am 5'7", I am 180 pounds. I want to build muscles, but then I want to be ripped. How do you do it, Ricardo?
Oh man, I would draw up your game plan. If you have a short-term goal, like to be short and ripped in a year, 2 years, that's not even realistic, right? I would take somebody like that and look at a 5-year plan to keep muscle that's going to be sustainable through your first diet, right? So I would see if they're even committed. If they're not committed to a 5-year plan, I wouldn't even answer the second question, honestly, man.
Wow.
That's realistic. That's a realistic answer, though.
Yeah, I really wouldn't. If they're trying to get big and ripped at the same time, clean or dirty, that really makes no sense, and it's not even worth your time. After a year and a half, they're gonna drop it and depend on that the whole time anyway. So it's not even worth my time, man.
The question is, a follow-up question here is, can you be ripped and build muscle at the same time?
No, toned and building is one different thing, but it doesn't even work like that, right? You can't build while you're dropping, right? Like you could drop some body fat, but it goes against it, right? You have got to be at a caloric deficit, so you can't really add on, bro. You can't build, you can't add to the house when you're taking away.
Yeah, unless you take PEDs, but it's still not going to be as dramatic.
No, but even that's different. That's hardeners. That's a different look. That's not really gaining muscle, man. That's just a different look, right? That's not actually. That's just not actually adding, right?
Right. Hondo? Somebody comes up to you, like say Vince is like, "Hey, I want to be ripped and get muscle at the same time, Hondo, so I could DJ well."
With someone of that physical proportion, I would recommend one thing first and then the next. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Stasha.
Well, I agree with Ricardo. You can't build muscle and lose weight at the same time. It's two different goals.
Wait. Let me ask you this. Why is that? Why can't you do that?
It's all about calories.
Yep.
Good answer.
You got to eat more to build the muscle. I believe there's 1,600 calories in 1 pound of muscle.
Yes.
And there's 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat.
Yep. Yep,
So
that's true.
if you want to build muscle, you got to eat more. You got to eat more than what you're burning. And if you want to lose weight, you have to eat less than what you're burning.
And when it comes to building muscles, would you encourage lifting heavy instead of building light? I mean, lifting light?
Is that open to everybody?
Open to everyone.
Well, you know, Rodney, I like to, you know, I don't go heavy every workout. I don't go heavy. I don't do like a heavy cycle, like, you know, every week, nothing like that. Like, I just like to see where I'm at, so to speak, in my main 4 lifts. But I got into doing reps, high reps, maybe, I don't know, maybe perhaps 6, 7, 8 years ago. And
How high?
15 or better, like for
Oh
me.
yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, yeah,
For me,
yeah.
15, but sometimes, you know, 30 set. If I'm feeling it, a 40 count, 40 reps in the leg press, or I'll do we'll do a 100 on the bicep. It just depends how I'm feeling. But I believe in high reps, time under tension, that whole philosophy, so to speak.
Yeah, the reason I agree with you on that is because I've been bodybuilding for, God, over 30 years. My weak body part was always my calves, and I'm Filipino. I'm supposed to have good calves, right? No matter how heavy I do, dude, it will never grow. Here's what happened to me in at least this year when I started living in Reno. I started walking twice a day on hills, up and down, hills, up and down. I grew at least 2 inches with the calves. So that is an example of building your other type of muscle, you know, on a high rep. Like swimmers, the way they build it, you know. Getting back to the weight loss, guys, if, let's say, a person that is of the shape that we were talking about, I would encourage him to go for a complete blood test first. Certain profiles like T3, his thyroid, his testosterone, his free testosterone level, his D3 level, all kinds. The reason I say that is because, let's say, everybody knows who Russell Peters is, right? At one point, he was skinny. And then in some of his set, you would see him fat. Even in his series, The Indian Detective, he got fat. And one time in his skit, in his comedy, he confessed. He said, look, I train MMA every day. I train boxing every day. I bike every day. Yet I was getting fatter and fatter. You could see my face blowing up. And so I went to the doctor. He checked a complete blood test, and his thyroid level was fucked up. They put him on T3 level. They put him T3 therapeutic. He was gone, huh? Therapeutic dose. You could look at him now on YouTube. He has this latest thing, and he got skinnier. He got in shape. So no matter what type of program you're in, if you didn't do that CBC, the complete blood test, to see what's wrong, especially at a certain age where you are, like me or Russell Peters, it will not work until you remedy that problem, whether you're on low testosterone or whether you're on low thyroid.
I don't know if I have very much information on that subject, but I also feel that people can't all do the same diet too.
Right.
Everyone is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kathy, I mean, how would you advise somebody like that? Because you already have some experience as far as preparing for a contest. You did 3 already, which means you have experimented with different types of methodology. How would you advise someone in our industry, like the dance industry, who just can't seem to lose weight?
Okay, so for me, my first 3 shows, I did them kind of back to back, and I used to eat chicken and turkey, right? Or fish. I didn't eat any red meats. And then I took a 3-year break, and I went vegetarian. So this last prep, I did a vegetarian, right? Where all of my protein was from TVP, texturized vegetable protein, soy. So for me, if I have some students who are vegan / vegetarian, and even my coach, Brian Anderson, wasn't sure how my prep was gonna go because I came up with my own macro count and stuff, putting my meals together, right?
Yeah.
For me, for example, for me, if I eat tofu, I realized and I noticed that it makes me swollen and it makes me retain water. So for someone who's vegan and vegetarian, they might have the same outcome from eating tofu or eating spinach, right? And their body may be retaining water, so not necessarily fat, right? So for me, it's you have to experiment on and being consistent with what you're eating to figure out how your body is responding to certain foods, and give it enough time for your body for you to see the difference in your body, and then remove those items and try something different to see if your body responds in a more positive has a more positive outcome. So that's what I had to do. I increased my cardio for sure when I needed to drop some, when I needed to lean out, I needed to kind of increase on my cardio. I didn't do any too much heavy lifting. I have a back injury, so I also, I'm aware of those things, right? So when I kind of come up with a plan for someone, I am aware of those injuries. Are you injured? Are you this? Are you that? And I can relate to a lot of things. So I do more high reps now more than ever. But I do know that in order for me to gain some muscle, I need to go a little heavier as well. So yeah, I think everybody's body responds different. If you do well, like you just said, you don't do well with rice, right? You're allergic to rice, right?
Yep.
For me, pasta, rice makes me swollen. Tofu makes me hold water, but then sweet potato helps me get a little leaner. It doesn't I don't retain a lot of water, right? So it's for my proteins mainly, especially for my prep, I felt like I wasn't dropping. I was like, I'm doing cardio, I increased my cardio, I'm doing this, what am I doing different? And I started paying attention every time I ate a meal, right? So then I noticed that when I ate eggs in the morning, I was fine, right? When I ate my tofu, I started getting a little bit of cramp in my stomach. So I'm like, okay, so that's what's happening, right? And so I noticed it was a tofu. I removed the tofu, replaced it with TVP, which is very good, high protein, no fat, very low carbs, and it's cleaner. Then I tried it with spinach. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do spinach here, you know, and I'm gonna not do spinach in this meal. I noticed that the spinach was creating pain, so I can no longer eat spinach. So you start getting to know your body. Everybody's body responds very, very, very different.
Have you tried pea protein?
I have a protein powder, but I don't have a pea protein like
not the pea itself. No, it has the protein powder. Yeah, that's probably better than tofu. I don't eat tofu. Advice against tofu, but yeah.
I don't eat tofu, not much. Once in a while I do, but I do have like a bag of like split peas, right? And it is really good with the TVP. I get a lot of protein. In that.
Ashanti, what type of supplements do you take now?
So I'm really big into what they call anti-aging supplements, not necessarily geared toward fitness and bodybuilding. But I'm a big fan of ashwagandha root. I'm a big fan of resveratrol.
Ricardo is on different locations. Now he's in the car.
Oh, yeah, he's teleporting to different places.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, guys. I'm at work. I got like 5 minutes left, man.
Okay.
Hey, before I check out, I wanted to touch on one thing that I got disconnected, and then it's kind of rewind, but then I got to go, and next time we'll do it. I wanted to touch on the high reps versus heavy stuff, and for me, I found that the high reps was more like a a burn in a pump, right? And I'd feel good. And maybe if I was lean, it would make a difference. But for me, I found what he was saying over tension, bro, like 3-4 second reps under
Yeah.
heavy weight, bro, and breaking it down instead of pumping it up and then feeding it and resting it. For me, I pulled that for like 9-10 seasons, and I had results every time, clean and dirty. So for me, it was heavy, man. But then again, I learned from guys that were lifting in the 60s and 70s, man. So mine I think is sort of like yours, Rod, like super old school.
Yeah. I agree with that. Although I don't do a lot of compound movements now because I'm old and my joints are really not that good. So I do a lot of basic stuff, Cybex machine, which really is great in really contracting certain body parts. We were just talking about supplements, and Ashanti was saying that she likes taking anti-aging supplements, which is really good. Do you take powder protein or just solid food, Ashanti?
Well, what I do is I like to stack my supplements depending on what the meal is. So I tend to take vitamin D, astragalus, and ashwagandha with my oatmeal in the morning. Or
we will talk again, Ricardo. We will talk again, okay?
Sorry,
I will bring you up and we'll talk shop about PEDs and all of that stuff, okay?
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Good to see you, Ricardo.
Anyway, go ahead,
I do a blend. I like to mix my supplements depending on what the meal is during the day, because certain supplements absorb better with your digestive juices and the food versus others. So
yeah.
I'm really big into algae. So let's see, Calamath algae, as well as spirulina and chlorella. I like to take those in the middle of the day. So yeah, I have a certain system that I stack my supplements.
Stasha?
I think my goal has always been no supplements.
Even when you were competing, huh?
Yeah, I worked for the supplement companies.
Yeah.
I would promote for them, but I'm really not into like protein powder, things like that. It's not whole food to me.
Yeah.
So whole food, whole plants. I love a lot of the holistic type supplements, like what Ashanti was talking about, but I just don't believe everybody needs something every day. There's no quick pill or quick fix. But if we have a variety, I think that gives our body more of a advantage.
I think the secret here, guys, is if you remember when you were all 16 years old, we ate whatever we wanted. We slept every day, even longer than that. We just basically, and we were very active. And part of that reason is this, going back to the blood test again, okay? You were intact with your testosterone level, estrogen level in women and all of that stuff, all of the necessary mechanism that would make the body work were there. Now, after you become 25, they start going down certain parts, certain chemistry, whether it's testosterone or whether you're a thyroid level or whether you're a D3 level, anything, it starts going down. That's when you see a little difference, you're low of energy. If you could go back there, the secret is, even when you're 70 or you're 80 years old, if you could somehow fulfill what's lacking in that blood test, I think that you'll be fine. I think that you could reverse your aging. I was probably depressed for 2 years because I was getting old. I could not accept I was getting old. It was just too hard to accept for me. So the only thing I was doing there is dancing, but then I was getting fat already, and I agree with Stasha. You cannot replace real food with supplements. It's always going to be number one, whether it's fish, beef, what have you, protein, great complex carbs like brown rice, whatever. Okay, you cannot replace. In fact, with this dieting thing, I'm only like drinking Lean Body, which is 40 grams of protein, no carbs, only once a day. It used to be I would eat 3 shakes a day and 2 meals, solid meals a day, which was wrong. I mean, Hondo, what do you do? Do you agree that solid food just, is the best supplement of all?
Straight food, man, like across the board. And it's not, for me, it's not even as soon as I wake up. I'll intentionally wait a couple hours before I allow myself my first meal. I guess that's more of like a mindset kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But and I know you had in the message you had mentioned something about intermittent fasting. I know when I was doing that, I'd be at my most ripped, most defined moments, giving myself that 8 hour, that 6 hour, sometimes that 10-hour window. You know
Let's
what I mean?
talk about that. What is intermittent fasting, guys? Is it really fasting or just, what is it? I want to know, because I was talking about that with Stasha earlier.
From what I understand and comprehend, it's that window. It's that window in which you allow yourself to consume and intake the majority of your food, plain and simple.
Is it a complete deprivation for one meal?
The way I do it is because I do know people who will do one big 3,000, 2,500 calorie meal, some big dudes, you know, and I'm sure there's some women that might do that as well. But for me, I'll open up my window, so to speak, at noon, and I'll close it at 8 p.m. So between noon to 8, that's 4,500 calories, just depending on how active I am that day. I mean, I'm active every day, dude, and I'm 6'3", 230, so I need to eat. So I don't, you know, so that's what it is.
Now, when you do that, do you notice any loss of muscles or just fat?
I feel like I burn more fat personally when I'm on that, because I'll wake up and the first thing I'll do is I'll brush my teeth, right? But then the second thing
that will
I'll do,
burn calories.
the second thing I'll do is I'll put some music on. I'll just start moving. I'll just start dancing.
Yeah.
Right. And then once my body loosens and warms up, I'll hit like a short little stretch, and I'll go run. You know, and right there, that's a fasted cardio session.
Yeah.
To the T. You know what I mean?
Right. That's above your heart rate, I think.
Oh, and now my body's like, dude, let's eat. You know what I mean? So that's how I get down when it comes to intermittent fasting.
Stasha, intermittent fasting. What do you think?
What do I think? I think if it works for you, great. And I think it's beneficial to let your body rest. So giving it that time with no food intake, I think it's a nice rest for your body. It doesn't work for me per se. I think it would, I don't even know how to go about this one. So when I was doing fitness, it put me in like a mode where I was focused on food.
Right.
So when I couldn't have it, all I wanted was it, or I could think about it. So when I tried the diet just to see how it would go. I didn't really have a big goal or anything. I just wanted to see what everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
And as soon as my cutoff period started getting near, I think I would eat more calories just so I wouldn't feel hungry.
Yeah.
So it didn't work for me and my personality, but I could see how it works for a lot of people.
Yeah, Hondo?
Were you able to Stasha, were you able to suppress your hunger by drinking a lot of water? Or was that kind of like counterintuitive, so to speak?
I think that's great. It's always great to hydrate. I don't think I put too much thought into it. It's just as soon as I got into that mode where I'm hungry and I can't eat, that didn't work for me anymore. So I probably could have gave it more effort, but it is what it is.
I don't think I've ever tried. Maybe I tried it accidentally during festivals where you have to wake up.
That's funny.
Alcohol doesn't count, Rodney.
Accidental fasting.
Alcohol fasting.
Yeah. Ashanti, have you ever tried that method?
You know, I have. And again, whenever you're in between, let's say you're in between shows, but you just want to maintain without overworking your body. My intermittent fasting would look like keeping the meals that I would typically eat. So let's say the oatmeal, the fish, and maybe a lean chicken with my vegetables and fruits, but it would be from, let's say, 12 o'clock till 9 o'clock. And then I would keep that every other day. So that's how I did the intermittent fasting. So I still had a regular meal schedule. So I would still eat my cheeseburger or macaroni and cheese if I wanted it.
Yeah.
But it was mixing in the intermittent fasting with the kind of like a strict diet without it being like I was training for a competition. So, it works.
Just by concept alone of intermittent fasting, it's like you're going to put your body into the starvation mode.
Yes.
And you know what happens when your body into the starvation mode?
Yes.
Start burning calories that you don't have. What's left? Your muscles. So it's going to start burning your muscles. You're going to lose muscle. You know how hard to gain muscles? It's the hardest. It's easier to lose weight than to gain muscles, guys. So but the way you guys are describing what intermittent fasting is that it's almost like tricking your body in a short period of time, like what Hondo and you guys are doing. Maybe that would work. Maybe. I've never tried. I mean, have you tried it, Kathy? No? Does your coach advise it?
No, yes, he does to certain type of people.
I see.
It's not for me. I don't need it. Like, I don't have a problem dropping weight or gaining weight. You know? If anything, I don't have a problem with that. And like the minute, if I'm close to a show, right, I'll keep X amount of like carbs, protein, fats. But once we want to like do a complete change, right, to change the diet, I go into carb cycling. Mm-hmm. And my body responds very well to that. Not everybody's body responds the same.
Right. Yeah. What do you think of, what's the difference between fat loss and weight loss? And what would you advise? Fat loss or weight loss when somebody's asking you for advice? What do you think is the difference? And which one is better?
So
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Stasha.
So repeat the question again.
What's the difference between weight loss and fat loss?
I guess weight loss would also include muscle loss too.
Correct.
And water weight.
And so most people, and water weight, you're right. Most people have the idea in their head that they want to just lose fat, of course. But anytime that you deplete your diet and you're losing weight, you're going to lose muscle too.
And they're very hard to gain back. Very hard to gain back. Ashanti?
Yeah, I would have to agree with Stasha. For me, I think it's always important to clarify what is their end game. Like, what exactly are their goals? Are you trying to have a certain look? Do you want to fit a certain pant size? Or are you trying to reach a certain number on the scale? You can arrive at those three different things in different ways. So I would just clarify, are you looking to actually change your lifestyle to reach what you're trying to do? Or do you want, you can just, like you said, you can just stop eating and you can reach your weight, but you're not going to maintain what you're trying to do. So I always think it's a first approach what the mental state is, find out exactly mentally what's going on. And then from there, I'm a holistic type of person. So I believe in doing a little bit every day. So change your diets, like replace soda with water, make that change for the next 2 weeks. And then from there, take out dessert. So I'm just like, that's just how I see it. Like, first start with the mental, then slowly work in the physical, and then give yourself a certain time frame that you want to meet your goal, and then, go from there. So that's just my approach to training. So
fat loss versus weight loss, Kathy?
For me personally, when I am advising someone in regards to, I would go for fat loss. Fat loss because, again, if I don't drink enough water, my body can retain water, right?
Yeah.
And if I start drinking water, I'll be dropping weight, but it's more water weight because it's just going, the whole cycle.
Right.
So for me, and being on the scale, I don't really like to weight myself. And when I
don't either, yeah.
Somebody, I'm like, don't weight yourself. Why are you worried about weighting yourself? It's not going to tell you anything.
It's the mirror.
It's a mirror. Yeah.
How you look and how you feel. I like the whole body composition thing. I tried this where they scan your body and it kind of breaks down exactly how much, your bone density, your muscle, your fat. So I would focus more on the fat than to just general body weight, if anything, because you can be someone my height, right? 5'1", I'm 121, but I can be 130 and be considered obese, right? Or 130 and just like, damn, you know, like I look good, I look fit. So there's different, and still look good in both. Like look good at 130 muscle or look good at 30, right? Like being obese doesn't mean you have to be huge physically. You know, it's just the percentage of fat that you have on your body. So for me personally, I always focus on like, okay, let's see what your body fat is, and also make sure that when we bring your body fat low, it is at the range where it's healthy. Because some people, they get too like into body fat, right? And they want to drop it lower and lower, and it's not healthy for us as women. You know, guys can drop very low, their body fat very low. I haven't had my body fat lower than 15.
I think when you ladies compete, I think it's probably 13% is ideal, or probably it can't be less than that, right?
No,
No, you lose your period.
13 is like borderline, my understanding. Like anything between 15, 17 is a good range. That's my understanding. Again, I don't know what Shanta, your experience has been, or Ashanti.
Yes,
Stasha,
you said it right.
Ashanti, you know, but yes, I, you know, and I even have this scale right now. And again, it's not 100% accurate, right? But it gives me personally, and whoever wants me to help them out, an idea. And it's just this, it's called Fitbit, not Fitbit, that's the clock.
Do you use the fat caliper?
Fit index.
Do you use the fat caliper?
No. Right now, I just bought this one, and you download an app, you stand on it, and it tells you your whole body composition, right?
Really?
It gives you an idea.
Not accurate.
Look, I did the DEXA back in February, right?
Yeah.
And the DEXA, I compared it, my DEXA results, and then a few months later, now I'm doing this, and it's about the same, okay, for me. Okay, so again, I don't use this as this is 100% accurate. I use this to give me an idea as where I'm at. That makes sense?
Yeah. Hondo, you think fat loss is superior to weight loss?
All day. Because
why?
I'll get these. I'll get clients here and there, and they're just fixated on these numbers.
Yeah.
I weigh this, I weigh that. I'm just like, you know what? Let's use one, the mirror as a reference. Let's use how you feel as a reference. Let's use how many push-ups you were doing today versus 3 weeks from now. Let's use that. Let's use your actual performance as a reference, as opposed to being so mentally consumed by these numbers. You know, like, you know, you can be, you know, like I said, 6'3", 230. You know, I was 6'3", 218 3 months ago, and you know what I mean. I was fine. I'm okay now. You know, I think one of the hardest things is to look good to yourself. You know, you could look good to other people.
Right.
At 230, at 210, oh, dude, you always look good. No, bullshit, dude. Like,
your work rhythm.
Like, look, man. You know. It's one of the hardest things to do, but I always like to encourage and to promote performance over numerics.
Yeah. The thing is, when it comes to fat loss and weight loss, the difference for me and why, weight loss, you lose weight. Like Stasha was saying, that includes muscle, everything. So you can look anorexic, losing weight, okay? Not shapely. So when you lose fat in certain body parts, whether it's your buttocks, whether it's your chest, your arms here, and they become shapely for whatever muscle you built. Now we have to remember, muscle burns fat. I mean, we all know this, okay? So the idea here of fat loss is so that you would be shapely, which is much better than losing weight, because when you lose weight, yeah, you will look good with clothes, okay? But once you take off that clothes, that's a different story. And this is not an insult or anything. It's just a fact.
If I had a half hour and I had to choose between muscle training or cardio, I would always go for the muscle training.
Yeah,
I'm with Stasha.
Is
Yep.
what burns
it's
the
more
fat.
satisfying.
Huh?
It's more satisfying.
For me, maybe some people like to stick on cardio. I just don't see the benefit in it. I know the benefits of the heart, but I don't see the benefits of getting to goals as fast as muscle training.
Last month I was doing walking an hour twice a day. Okay. That was when the weather is a little, not that hot. That was May. That was until the end of May. And I posted a picture. I was 13% body fat. Now, after May, it became hotter that even when you wake up in the morning, it's 75 to 90 degrees already. Dude, I can't do it. I stopped doing cardio. I just posted a picture recently. That's 11% body fat. No cardio.
Mm-hmm.
No cardio. I didn't change my diet. It was still 4 times a day with 1 shake once a day. And then it's just solid food, So that's what I mean by shapely. And the reason that for everyone that's watching, because these are all personal trainers, guys, and they're going to give you their email address if ever that they want advice. You want advice from them, you could email them, is that when I'm like 54 years old, by the way, I thought I was going to be 55, but my wife always told me that I was going to be 55, and I believed her. She lied to me. I'm actually 54. But my goal is to keep that muscles when I'm 70 years old, because those muscle will keep me healthy.
Yes.
Because when you grow old, you start losing mass, which is probably not good, because muscle are going to protect your bones, from getting injured and all of that stuff. So that's my goal for now. Obstacle courses, Spartan races. Okay, here's my opinion about it, and then you're going to tell your own opinion. You're being scammed. Why are you spending money to get injured, for crying out loud? Just do some cardio. You'll be even better. But if your idea of fun is going every weekend to race, I give you that. Okay, Stasha, go ahead.
It wasn't something that I got into. I don't know much about it, but I think people get involved with different things for different reasons. So maybe it's a community builder for them, or something that is fun, or something they identify with. I mean, there's so many things. So even if it is a scam, if you're saying that.
If it's a scam, if their idea is to lose weight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know much about this.
It's an obstacle course. It's a lot. You got to see it on YouTube.
I've seen it. I've seen it. Isn't it with electrical wires and things like that, and like
that. Yeah.
jumping into ice and things?
Yeah.
Not my cup of tea, but maybe someone else has more information on it, or maybe you, Rodney.
Ashanti, I don't like it. People get injured.
No, I'm not a fan of any of those obstacle course fitness schemes, because you have to protect things like your joints. You have to protect certain muscle groups depending on what you use your body for. And as dancers, as bodybuilders, fitness models, a little thing could tweak it and you could be down for like a year, right? Achilles, oh my God, Achilles problems, forget it. You're gonna have problems. I just think it's irresponsible. And like for me, you need to train a certain way before you even do those courses. And most people, they're going in there without having a background in any type of fitness at all, which, okay, that's fine. You're taking the risk, but you really do have to sign a waiver before you do any of that stuff.
I think they make you sign
training.
a waiver. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing some sort of physical activity my whole life. So it's been dance. I did track and field in high school, basketball, volleyball, dancing, and then training as a bodybuilder since 2011. I will not do any obstacle course. I have to protect my body. I won't take the risk. So that's just me.
I think it's fun, but
There's a but.
I just like staying active, and I like challenges. I like to accomplish things again. But since I was young, before I was a dancer, I used to do cross country, and I was a badass at the 200-meter dash. So I used to train in that. I played volleyball too.
That explains her genetics and the lower body parts. She didn't really have to work hard for that one.
Yes, that's probably my mom. But I was very young. Like I've always been, and my dad was a volleyball coach back, in Guatemala. And he's always trained me since we were little. We've always go running with my dad. So I've been active pretty much my whole life. And so I like those type of challenges. Yes, of course, it's at my own risk, right? But I do agree with Ashanti that, yeah, you have to sign a waiver when you go. And there are some people that don't train for it. And yes, the smart people, right, that care for their body and are aware, they're gonna prepare before they do this kind of obstacle. I done it? I haven't done it. I done a Princess Mud Run. That was fun. That was with my team. That's just like mud and hike,
That was nothing.
That has nothing to do with the obstacle course. So I am like looking forward into like doing one of those, but I also do have to train before that because of I have an injured back that has prevented me from like dancing a lot, right? I can't hang on the social dance floor like I used to, especially when they dip me. Don't dip me, And same with my left knee. My left knee, when I can't run, I don't run anymore because my left knee kind of gives me a little pinch, right? So I use the bicycle and I speed walk, and yeah, that's what my cardio is all about. I don't do running for cardio. So yes,
you have to tried it, Hondo? Have you ever tried the obstacle courses?
Rodney, when we were younger, if we wanted an obstacle course, you would simply walk up to a police officer, provoke him, and next thing you know, you're in a chase. You're running through alleys, backyards, dogs are barking. That's an obstacle course.
That was in Whittier, California, huh?
Yeah, man. Straight up.
That was good.
The reason, look, fun is fun, and some people have goals and they want to have fun on weekends. If that's their goal, obstacle courses are great. But if their goal is to be healthy and lose weight, the obstacle course is not the right way to go. Because what if you're not doing obstacle course? You're going to gain all this weight back and probably injured, The idea, like my typical cardio, guys, if I ever do cardio, I just walk an hour because I have to meet a certain heart rate because I want to make sure that I'm burning fat and I'm not burning really that much muscle or protein or carbs. I want to burn fat. It takes a certain amount of heart rate. You gotta Google this. You gotta calculate by your age so that you get into that range of fat burning. Whether I'm doing bike for an hour, just watching TV, or just walking on a certain pace. I can't run because I have the same problem with Kathy. I got knee problem. Or even if I don't have knee problem at my age, I don't want to wear it out. But the secret there is fat burning mode, which you could calculate by your age, and you would target a certain amount of heart rate. And there you would burn fat consistently. That's what I do. What do you do typically for cardio? Do you do it slow mode or fast rate, Hondo?
Pretty simple. 5 days a week, I'll either do a 2 or 3 mile run, and I'll always keep it with about a 7 to a 7.5 minute mile per mile range. Yeah. I just like to open the stride up. Because when you do the math, if I'm doing 3 miles at 7 minutes a mile, it's only 21 minutes. You know what I mean? Boom, I'm good for the rest of the day. Like dancing's just fun, it's just on the side.
Yeah.
And I still got my weight session, at least 60 minutes throwing it up. So that's me. That's the most simplified method.
Stasha does a lot of holistic stuff like yoga. What else do you do, hon?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think
for fat burning mode every day.
Now. Let's bring in dancing. Dancing is a great way to get your cardio in and have fun at the same time. And I feel like I probably do maintain a lot of what I look like due to dancing because I don't notice that I'm working out. I'm having fun and getting the benefits of cardio at the same time.
Yeah. Shante?
Yeah, I would have to agree with Stasha. Dancing for me, and then I like to do outdoor hikes in different places, but with a lot of steep hills. Where I live in the Oakland Hills has a lot of very steep hills, so I just try to do a circuit that's 3 miles, and then I just sometimes will walk up it backwards and sometimes run. So I prefer that for my cardio.
Kathy, obviously you do your own classes, and that in itself is a cardio for you.
Yeah, but I don't know why I just never think of that being my the fitness class that I'm doing right now. Yes, that kicks my ass. But prior to this whole quarantine thing, the whole dancing thing, I felt like I was standing more than dancing. You know, like do this, do that, arm here, arm there. That I just never consider that cardio. So for my cardio, I had to use my stairs. I go up and down my stairs. Obviously, careful. I can't run, right? Or put too much impact. Or if when the gyms were open, stairmasters or incline on the treadmill. That's what I did, but I never jogged. It was always speed walk at the same pace, and I started anything between 25, and as I needed to drop more, I increased it to 45. Yeah.
All right, last questions, guys. I want you to answer this. You got 1 week for a photo shoot. Starting on Monday, your photo shoot is on Saturday. What do? Go ahead, Hondo.
Fasted cardio.
Every day?
Every day, man.
Your diet?
My diet, eat at home. Eat at home.
Solid food?
Solid.
Okay.
Straight up. Yeah.
How many times a day?
5 times minimum.
Okay.
5 times minimum. Stay solid.
Are you gonna manipulate your water and salt or protein or?
Well, yeah. Sodium is at a low. Sodium's at a low for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Water is just necessity, just how much that I need so that I don't feel, dehydrated or anything like that. Because I'm always sweating, man. Always sweating.
Supplements?
Supplements. Just the vitamin stack that I consume on daily. Yeah. C, B complex.
Yeah.
The spirulina, the maca root, the beetroot, the omegas, the magnesium, the zincs.
Definitely.
Yeah. My medicine cabinet's crazy, man.
Yeah. Stasha?
I've had to do this.
Yes, you had to.
You get an opportunity.
Bunch of photo shoots modeling, man.
So I think 80% of any weight loss would be diet. So I can manipulate my diet and drop weight that way. So definitely you'd be lowering down the calories.
Yeah.
But recently, herbal detoxes. That I just recently did one and I loved it. Like I felt good the whole time, gave my body a rest, and it was all natural, all herbal. Yeah. And it also allowed me to eat real food. It said the calories weren't restricted, but I was going to restrict them a little bit anyways because I know how the body works. And I was just really happy with it. But I lost 9 pounds in 12 days.
Do you manipulate? Do you reduce your salt intake a few days before?
I've never manipulated the salt. I don't add salt. If I was dieting, I never added salt.
What about water manipulation, like drinking lots of gallons and then not drinking before the photo shoot?
I used to do that, yeah. I used to do some diuretics too. I will admit that. But nowadays, I don't really have to do that so much. I didn't think it was good for my body, so.
No, it's never good for the body.
Yeah, I thought it was horrible for my body. Yeah. And glad that I don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah. Ashanti?
I'm a big fan of calisthenics and body resistance training. I would probably, because I'm really into dessert, like I probably have a dessert every day, so I would just cut that out. I mostly just drink water anyway. So my diet, pretty much the way that I eat and live is that I'm 4 weeks out from a show, like let's say 4 to 6 weeks out. So I kind of just maintain a photo shoot ready body. But I would just do a little bit more work working out, I wouldn't really change my diet much. So,
Kathy?
I honestly, I've never experienced it, so I wouldn't know.
You do it. But what did you do a week before competition?
Oh, that's different because I was already prepping for it, right? This last competition, I like I said, there's the whole old school versus new school, right? Like old school, they would completely cut your water. This time, I didn't cut my water at all. Like like to where you were just sipping. Like some people, they were doing that when they had no sodium on their diet. But now because I had sodium, right? Sodium follows water. I was drinking, I think half a gallon the day before. So I would just increase my cardio, lower my calorie intake, lower my carbs to kind of deplete a little bit, and my fats. Yeah.
I manipulate my salt 4 days. 4 days before the photo shoot, 4 days before the competition.
I remember having to measure the amount of sodium that the Himalaya salt, right?
Oh, I didn't have to. I just salt everything.
Yeah,
I didn't have to measure it.
The only amount that I could have, right? That was towards peak week. But again, this past peak week was quite of a unique experience, and that's for another conversation.
Yeah. So here's what happened when you manipulate that salt, okay? You salt, and then all of a sudden you don't salt at all. Even brushing your teeth, you don't want to use the toothpaste because it has sodium.
I heard that.
The water in your body literally flush within 2 days. Literally, you got sunken face like this, you got the square face, whatever, and then you have veins popping out.
Yeah.
Now, no, you don't have the veins popping out yet. You only have the veins popping out 24 hours before the photo shoot because you eat shit like pancakes and everything else. Then you have the vascularity, your muscle is more full, whatever. But that's the bodybuilding thing, which is, totally different from you guys. So what I'm hearing from you guys is you don't have off seasons. You never did.
No.
Okay, that's good.
See, that's probably what I hear from you two also, Kathy and Ashanti, that you're probably similar to me too. I would diet for 4 to 6 weeks to get into competition mode.
Yeah.
And I would hear people dieting for 3 months, and I was just like, oh God, I couldn't hang for 3 months.
It's usually 3 months, yeah. But if you guys don't have off season, it's not gonna be that hard.
Right.
Right.
I think I have my off season. I don't think like I said, I don't follow a meal plan. I think I follow a meal plan when I'm noticing. If I don't follow a meal plan, I sometimes forget to eat.
Yeah.
That's me. So I'm like, I need to get back on my meal plan, right? So like right now I have a meal plan that's like has breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I have 3 snacks, right? In between.
Yeah. So
I have it set up that way. Do I eat the exact same thing every day? Not yet, although I need to start, right? If I'm doing something in December. When I start buckling down is 12 weeks prior to my show. That's when I start buckling down. But as of now, right now, like I'm on a meal prep, right? Where it's like I'm eating consistent and I'm doing my workouts, but I'm not following a super meal plan, if that makes sense. Yeah. And then like if I have a cheat day, like I don't torture myself.
What's your cheat food, Kathy?
Oh, I love pasta. Love.
Stasha?
I don't deprive myself at this point, so everything. Anything new and unique, exciting to eat, I want to eat it. Flowers on top of my food. That's the thing right now.
Oh my God.
Nice. I'm really big into ice cream. I love ice cream.
Oh God, yeah. I am big into In-N-Out every 3 days. Every 3 days. 4 by 2.
Oh wow.
4 patties, 2 cheese.
Woo.
No fries.
Woo.
But for some reason, my body craves it. And I wake up in the morning after I eat that. I feel skinnier. I don't know why. It could be the salt intake or whatever. I don't know why, but it happens. It's probably the testosterone burning it. I don't know. So it's like I told you, I'm on HRT. So where the hell is Hondo, man? Okay, last question. What supplement scam have you taken that didn't do shit? Only one. OTC.
I don't do supplement scans.
I will tell you. I'll tell you what. This testosterone booster shit. They don't work. They're a scam. Don't buy it. It doesn't work. The supplement industry is a scam 90% of the time anyway. If a supplement works, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be over the counter. That I can tell you that. Okay, and it's not going to be approved by the FDA. If they are ever approved, it's by prescription or something else. Okay, any supplements that works, okay, will be mafiaed by the FDA. That I can tell you that.
Schedule 1 narcotics.
Do not do testosterone booster, please. Stasha?
I don't do supplements either. I think coming from the supplement industry.
Do they put the right dose at least, Stasha?
The FDA does not regulate supplements. Yes. They can put whatever in the bottle and put whatever label on it. I worked for legit companies, but I was with Muscle Milk for a couple of years, and I did all their fitness and nutrition questions.
You have to admit their protein supplement tastes good, though.
Yes. Yeah. I wasn't the biggest fan, but I could tell people about the benefits of it and things like that. So I think, I don't have too much thought on it.
Yeah, it's just
I think you just have to be careful. Marketing can really get in your head.
Yeah.
And it's meant to. And it does.
Yeah.
So do your research.
Kathy?
Yeah, I don't think I've experienced that either.
Yeah.
I take the basic, like my vegan protein powder, amino acids.
Yeah. I would advise you guys to, when you look at protein powder like that, when you buy them, look at the ingredients. Because when it's a proprietary, that's just an excuse to hide how much amount of protein they put there, or how many amino acid, how many glutamine, how many BCAA. Another thing is, in a protein powder that says added glutamine and BCAA, that just added to the 45 grams of protein in general that they put there, which means the 45 grams is not necessarily accurate, because it just added to what they added, which is glutamine and BCAA, which if you have a good protein source, the glutamine and BCAA is already included there anyway. Hondo? Oh, Hondo is out, huh?
He left?
Yeah. So anyways, that's about over an hour, 15 minutes. That's not bad. I will bring you guys back, not necessarily at the same time because it's too much people. It could be 2 people at the same time, so we could talk more in depth of the details of the dieting, manipulating water, what have you. I'd like to know more what Stasha does really, because she looks great in all of those photos. If you Google her, in fact, even your early days in weightlifting, because either that or you always had that genetics, Stasha.
I think genetics plays a big part.
Yeah.
I mean, I think also having information on nutrition, or I think just me in general, I pick things that are more nutritious. And so with more nutrition given to your body, you don't have to eat as much, or you don't feel the need to eat as much.
What's the number one exercise for your legs that worked? Only one. You can only pick one.
I'm going to say squats and lunges, or I can only pick one. Multi-joint, lots of different muscles involved. Get it all done at once.
Squats.
Okay. Kathy?
I like to focus on the glutes, so I'm going to go for hip thrust.
Ooh.
You already built that leg anyway, but I agree. Squat is the king when it comes to butt size, leg size, both quads and what's the other back muscle of the leg? What do you call it?
Hamstring.
Yeah, hamstring. That's it. Yeah. And not to mention your lower back and everything else. I've also heard the research says that squat actually increases testosterone and growth hormone naturally, which explains why you grow when you do squat. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Stasha, Shante, Kathy, Ricardo, who was short-lived here, and Hondo, who's probably doing his cardio now. He didn't want to miss his cardio, or maybe eating some macros there. Didn't want to miss that either. But I will bring probably each one of you to talk more in depth about these things, because there's so many topics that we can talk about. Not only that, it's also educational for each one of us, getting tips from each other like that, and maybe incorporate it into our own eating habits and working out. So thank you, ladies. Oh, where can they find you? Go ahead, Stasha. Whether email or website.
Instagram, Stasha Rice.
Sasha1.
Stasha Rice.
Okay, Shante?
Ashanti Altavis 333 on IG.
I am Kathy Reyes Dance.fitness on IG.
Nice. And you can find me on Rodchata Aquino on YouTube. Please subscribe. I'm trying to build subscribers. I promise everyone, it's not just going to be fitness, but everything to MMA, to dancing, to business, to entrepreneurship, you name it. I'm even going to cook for you, and I don't cook. But anyways, great job, everyone. I will see you later. Until next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.